Miss Holcomb, I need to explain this to the grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with... well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through. I understand. Your business is your own. Nonetheless, you are welcome in our little outpost. Outsiders are a rare sight in the Vale. If you are a freelancer, then I have use for you. There is pay to be earned, or supplies to tide you over, as you prefer.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. You're the first stranger to wander into town in an age. Scripture tells us that nothing happens without reason. I do not attend the good vicar's sermons as often as I should, but yes, I am a scientician, born and raised. And my faith tells me that hard work and difficulty fortify our spirit. Well, this is hard work I ask of you, but there is a reward at the end of it. The geothermal plant was built by our owners, Spacer's Choice. Lit up the whole Vale once upon a time. Most of the Vale is now abandoned. All that power is going to waste. I'm afraid I can't spare the workers. We're strapped for bodies as it is. And there is a small element of personal danger. I appreciate your gallantry. You deserve my honesty, and so I will be plain with you. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith, for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. Hey, ma'am, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Yeah.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. It's just... Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not... Sure, it all comes together seamless in his own head. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are. To Mr. Thompson, a person... Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders. It just... I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Matt. About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate, and maybe he can think of some... It's just an idea. Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best... That's what my dad used to say.
Alright, I gotta... Talk to the goddamn vicar.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto, at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger.
Just tagging along.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. If it were as easy as a few soothing words in the right ears, I'm sure it would have been done already. Consider it a challenge. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library. Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book. It's a handwritten journal of What? No! I don't want to burn it! I would never... I mean, I just want to... Look, I have a very simple goal here. I just want to keep... Glad we see eye. Thank you. If you were...
Something you need? You mean about the mission? I know, but Vicar says the universe is a machine. Real machines? The machine Vicar sees? It just comes off cold to me.
Wonder if the plague's ever gonna pass.
Heard something outside the walls today.
Nothing for us outside those walls. You ought to know that.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're Answers, huh? Ajia what? If you're gonna start wandering around my camp. No. Over in the hot out. Enough with the question. Explains why you're still yammering on. No, I'm sorry. I've crossed off my share of marauders. I go looking for Zoe, I leave the camp, but... It's not like Zoe. Can't imagine where she's gone. Could do without the gallows humor.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on whatever you're...
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got...
Why, thank... Are you staying... No, dear. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping... A home... So, like... It is the home in... Reed Thompson. You here on behalf of that cold dog. Let's hear it. What... I can't say I blame you. Reed, like everything else that comes out of it. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of You've seen that miserable... You know that...
He was tired all the time, sure, but... He was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome. I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear. It's not much of a living. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. Life in it. You bring... I trust you will...
We're pretty good at this. Here they come! Everyone all right? Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself. Whoa.
Are you,
Great, just great.
Oh gosh, no.
Are you from town? Never heard it phrased in such... Sorry, fact is... I'll take all the help. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide?
Those are good.
I know the old kid... I'll pay you for every... Would you?